Hi there, welcome to the channel. My name's Dan and this is Dan's Out and About. So this past Sunday we decided to continue on our winter London walks to have a look around at some different parts of London that we wouldn't normally go to. So on Sunday we decided to start at Notting Hill Gate. We walked up through Portobello Road, walked through the market, had a look at the food stalls and the different bits and pieces that they had there. We headed over towards Little Venice and we had a walk along the canal, which was really nice, over towards Paddington Station. From there we headed over to Edgeware Road, where we jumped on the tube and we headed up to Camden Town for dinner reservations at Purezza, which is a really nice vegan pizza restaurant. We just want to have a look at some different parts of London that we wouldn't normally go to, whereas we tend to spend a lot of time in Soho, Covent Garden, Camden. I know we obviously finished off in Camden here, but we went for the food, we go for food. We just want to have a look and see what's about and some different things and basically be tourists in our own town. So yeah, so come along and have a look and see what we found.
So we started off by getting the tube from Victoria on the Circle line round to Notting Hill Gate. At Kentish Town, this little freeloader got on and decided to join us for one stop. So as we rolled into Notting Hill Gate, off he went.
Shut up, man.
So as you can see on the map, we are at Notting Hill Gate and we're sort of heading towards Portobello Road, which is kind of northish. As we walk up through the street, there's loads of vintage shops, lots of vintage clothes and furniture. There's lots of really nice buildings as well as you walk along, more on the right hand side. This particular house was really nice, and I bet it's really nice in the summer as well, with all the greenery running up the front. We came across this small garage and also George Orwell's house just before we got to Portobello Road. So as you can see along Portobello Road there's lots of really colourfully painted houses as well. Some nice murals on the wall, like the eyes on the left hand side. We came to the indoor market part where they had loads of sort of bric-a-brac and ornaments and small bits of furniture. A lot of it was closed. I think it was due to it being New Year's Eve. We found these really nice shirts as well. Not really my style, but could give them a try. Had to get some of the weird clowns on there as well. Along here's the electric cinema, which is really cool. So they're one of the first cinemas to do sound with the movies. There's lots of street art, and we also found the best Simpsons jacket I've ever found, but unfortunately it didn't fit. So as you can see along here, there's lots of street art, and a lot of the buildings are done really nicely. I guess it's the end of Christmas. So we came to Portobello Road, and just before we got there, we stopped for a vegan parcel, which was basically a Cornish pasty full of vegan curry, which was delicious. We had a look around all the food stalls. There was loads of options, loads of different cuisines from around the world, and loads of vegan options. We were on the hunt for momos, which we found.
Hello, mate.
They call them momo because you want momo.
You want momo? How's it? Good? Good.
Best in London apparently. So from there we went through the vintage market part, the outdoor market. Loads of bric-a-brac and clothing. The guy who was running this store was actually asleep, so I think he'd had a good night the night before. This particular store with all the sort of the more outlandish clothing had a van to match just parked outside.
Oh, is it? Nice.
From there we sort of headed towards Little Venice, so we walked past the Quiet Night Inn, which is a wicked name for a pub. Straight across Westbourne Park tube station, some nice art there as well. I'm not quite sure what it's for, but it's nice. And then along the street in Maida Vale, which was really nice. The architecture was fantastic. It's quite an expensive area, quite a money area. And the church there just to the left, with all moss and leaves growing up the side. And then we hit Little Venice. So you can see down the canal there.
Venice.
So as we head up the canal, you can see a lot of the barge boats have been converted. There's loads of swans and geese around as well. A lot of the boats along here have been converted. So there's bars, restaurants, and this particular one had been converted into a puppet theatre. And there was actually a show going on as we walked past. Here as well. I think this is kind of the turnaround point. This is like a roundabout in the middle of the canal. So as we cross the bridge up here, we start to head towards Paddington.
I wonder if it's just how everything's kind of where everyone's settled and stuff.
There's a lot more boats along this part that have been converted, so there's kind of a row of restaurants and bars.
Hey!
And there's actually a studio in one of them as well. If you look through the window, there was turntables set up and there was a booth. It was pretty cool.
So, Nissan design?
And there we go, we found Paddington as well. At Paddington.
Is he like velvet? Like velour? He's very cool.
Restaurant boats along here as well. It's really cool. It doesn't actually look like they're boats, but they are boats. So as we come out of the canal and head towards Edgeware Road, you can see the architecture on the left. There's a small chapel, and just on the right is the biggest Hilton I think I've ever seen in my life.
As we come around to Edgeware Station.
This is the Marylebone bypass, I believe, and just opposite is the Edgeware Road station.
Right on time.
So as you can see, the weather's starting to turn, so we were lucky enough to jump on the tube. We headed through to Oxford Circus, where we changed to the Northern Line, jumped on the Northern Line there through to Camden Town, and straight into Purezza, where I had a vegan pizza, vegan cheesecake, and a can of Coke. Banging. So after we finished there, we decided to look through the newest renovated part of Camden, which is the side of the canal. I say newest, it's been done for quite a while, but I just haven't been down there. When I was a teenager, this was quite a scary place to come, down this part of the canal, and it's completely opposite to that now. It's really welcoming. There's loads of shops and restaurants. So you can see the front of the canal here. It's really beautiful along here. It's really nice at night, as you can see.
This used to be. Do you know what this?
And the summer's great as well.
To come down?
Yes, it is.
Look at this! Wow. From the market to Holy Water. Whole separate thing.
So along here as well is Lost Souls Pizza, and as you go further along, there is a pop-up shop for Thumbs, who is an artist who does a lot of Simpsons one-shots. So does Simpsons and Pokemon, Simpsons and WWF wrestlers from the 80s and 90s, all the stuff that I love. So as we come towards the end of the market is where we finished our walk. So we'll just have a quick look over the canal, and then we're headed back home for a nice cup of tea.
Yeah. So there we go. So we saw some really cool stuff. Pigeon riding the tube, which was really odd. Got on one stop, got off at the next. So yeah. So I hope you enjoyed coming on the trip with us. There was some really cool stuff on the way round. Some really nice things to see in the market. Little Venice was phenomenal. It just, unfortunately, the weather just caught up with us by the time we got to Edgeware Road. Got a few more bits coming up soon. The theme parks are reopening in the UK in a couple of months' time. I've got a big trip to Japan coming up in about 8 weeks, so I'm going to sit down and plan that out. So I'm going to make a video for that just to see if anyone's interested. Hopefully it will be helpful if anyone else is planning a trip to Japan or wants to know what it's like for the future. And obviously we're going to document Japan when we go there. I've got a couple of other bits and pieces coming up too. I'll run through those at some point, make some videos. Whether or not anyone's watching them, I don't know. Hopefully those of you who are watching are enjoying them. Thank you for subscribing. But yeah, if you're not subscribed and you're watching, if you wouldn't mind giving us a subscribe, clicking on the button, giving us a like, dropping a comment, whatever you like, good or bad, give us some criticism if you want to. That'd be fantastic. So yeah, so thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.